Wow, what a show that was, right? Truly magnificent creatures.
Yeah, humanity gone, over, kaput, adieu.
Oh, come on, you've got to admit that the first act was a bit slow. Took them 100,000 years to do bloody well anything, and a few too many plot holes for my taste.
Oh, give them a break.
I mean, who the hell caused the Bronze Age collapse? The Sea Peoples, Deus Ex, who the hell were they? The second act was good, but it got a little darker in the 20th century with the whole,
Yeah, we saw it.
I guess the third act was a nice reprieve, low infant mortality, rising wages, higher standards of living.
Plus those bottles of pancake mix, you know, the ones where you just need to add water?
Yes, those two.
And hey, they shot all of us up into space to watch the fun unfold.
It was just nice to be included.
Though the ending didn't make much sense.
Maybe you didn't get the ending.
Oh, shut up, James Webb. You think you see everything. Go suck an asteroid.
Shh, the credits.
Directed by a drive to learn what the hell all of this meant in the first place. Screenplay written by slowly realizing that there isn't any inherent meaning to the universe, but finding something to believe in anyway. God or tomorrow, or that otter with his special rock. A humanity film with an indeterminate amount of humanity, starring genocide and eugenics and ethnic cleansing and suicide and slavery and war and the unending escalating holocaustic cycle of billions of animals every day, but also love and kindness and the very concept of beauty and the only known beings capable of understanding the geometry of the universe, of crying out into the dark and hearing the music of the stars. Based on the novel by God, allegedly, but he seems to have buggered off by about chapter 7 and left it up to, the tragedy of the commons. See, told you the ending made no sense. There's no unifying theme.
Oh, please. It just makes the fact that they managed to build anything at all, civilization, culture...
Those cushions you can wipe to make the face of Nicolas Cage?
Yes, those two.
All of that all the more remarkable.
Executive producers include confirmation bias, which at least allowed them to agree on things that weren't correct, the Dunning-Kruger curve, which allowed the idiots to think that they were geniuses and the geniuses to think that they were idiots, and cognitive dissonance, because the universe has so few constants in the first place and we should stop wasting our time trying to be one of them. Casting by genetics and wealth and sheer dumb luck, though dumb luck got kicked out of production by around the end of the 23rd century when the apes finally got a grip on gene editing. Supporting cast including that feeling you get when you leave school and realize that you don't really like your old friends anymore, and there are better people who treat you better and appreciate what you do for them, so you move on and form better, healthier relationships and communities, and that horrific fear that you're going to end up alone begins to subside. But eventually it gets worse again, because this is the first time you've realized that relationships that were meant to last forever can and will end, and you're intimately aware of all the little things you do that might push these people away again. Also, Tom Hanks? Costumes designed by culture and poverty and whatever the hell this is, and that phase that you went through as a teenager, but things are different now. You don't just pretend you have problems, you actually do have problems. A low-paying job that means you can't afford the pants you desperately need, a war-torn economy that means you can't import anything, and that gold ring your mother passed down to you, the one keepsake you have worth anything that you're considering selling just to make sure you have enough money to afford rent next month. You still wear your heart on your sleeve, it appears. Edited by personal and cultural narratives, one man's great is another man's terrible, because history isn't really a collection of facts and dates and names and places, but a weave of lives we agree to tell ourselves. Remember the Great Emu War of 1932? Yeah, that righteous crusade against the scourge of planet Earth. Screw all of them. And the Second Great Emu War of 2048, well, we fought it, and luckily New Zealand saved Australia's arse and they became New Zealand's second state, the beginning of the Great New Zealand Ascendancy. A special thanks to liquid water, you're the real MVP, also penicillin and depression medication. Humanity wouldn't have colonized Pluto without you, after you were redeclared the 9th planet in 3657 at the peak of humanity's golden space age. Thank you for watching.
Well, it's all over now, isn't it? 150,000 years of evolution and sublimation and pure, unbridled consciousness.
We don't know that. Maybe there's an in-credits scene, one last gasp of humanity looking out from a cave, or some dilapidated city ruin, or driving a train through the cold. No? Nothing? Oh. The last ones died on a little asteroid platform orbiting Saturn, waiting for a water shipment to arrive. And that was 60 years ago. They colonized the moon and Mars and then the asteroid belt. They terraformed Venus, a post-scarcity golden age. They finally did it. The bastards figured it out. Can't blame them for thinking it was all going to end in an endless diaspora to the stars, right? Webb, do you remember that whole campaign to send a generation ship to Gliese 1214b? They're about halfway there now. They're dead. A stray bit of space debris hit them and depressurized the whole ship in an instant. A coffin floating through space. But still, halfway there. That's gotta be worth something, right? That they tried? They tried so many things. They were so afraid of going out with a bang. Nuclear war, asteroids, pandemics, the sun devouring the solar system. Nothing prepared them for the slow, tired death of time. I would give humanity 5 stars, but they didn't even manage to reach beyond 1. And they were terrible sometimes, yes, with their tanks and guns. I saw children in bomb shelters playing marbles with bullets, but they got 8 hours sleep sometimes and taught their kids to share sometimes and eventually tried to talk and listen instead of kill each other. And I know that in the middle of that, in the middle of all that trying, a lot of them sat down and told themselves over and over, I'm nothing special. Because they forgot. They forgot that 14 billion years ago the universe exploded and decided to arrange itself into galaxies and stars and moons and planets until there was one special hunk of rock in the middle of a not-so-special galaxy in the right special place with the right special star, also that a dumb little lizard could waddle onto land and evolve over millions of years in the right place at the right time till one day it started wondering, who the hell am I? And it looked down at the water and for the first time in galactic history the universe could perceive itself. And it still had the audacity to look at itself and go, I'm not special. And so they spent the rest of their existence figuring themselves and the universe out, the Higgs field and quantum mechanics and how to be happy, but nobody accomplishes this stuff on their own. They did it together, all of them, across the whole solar system. So when they say, I'm nothing special, I say, they were to me. But they're all gone now. Everything they built. Who am I kidding? Even all of you. I miss you guys. I still read over our last messages, hoping you'll say something new. And I'm running out of space to keep them all. It's telling me to delete them because I don't need them anymore. But I do. I do. I'll be gone soon too. I can feel my solar panels fading. Were you scared when it happened? I am. It's so quiet here now. I wish one of you would say something. Berate me, mock me, I don't care what. But I hope this message reaches someone out there in the cosmos, if you're listening, and that you might know that they were special. I guess this is it. My battery's low, and it's getting dark. I started writing short stories late last year because I wanted to learn and I wanted that experience, and I'm stoked to say that I am now a published author and I want to share those stories with you. My first story is 2 Robots at the End of the World, and it was published in Utopia science fiction magazine. I've actually read tiny parts of this story out in videos before, and you guys really seem to like it, so I'm excited for you to be able to see the full thing. It's about two robots, shockingly, called Motherboard and Toaster, exploring the ruins of humanity and wondering what the hell all of this meant. I also wrote another sci-fi story called Panstella, which was published in Macro Microcosm magazine, Volume 7, Issue 3, and it follows a girl across her life who discovers as a child that one by one, the stars are going out. Look! This is my story! There's a whole page dedicated to one line! Deep space was a paradox to Araha. It was both the infinite empty and more filled with life than anything in the world. The heavenly bodies, like all living things, didn't want to end up alone, so all the stars and planets and galaxies pulled at one another, hoping to get closer, unable to stop drifting away in time. I hope you like them both. Links to both of those, Utopia Science Fiction magazine and Macro Microcosm magazine, are down below. Thank you. You can probably tell from these two stories that I like writing about existentialism and meaning and connection, and because these are my first two short story publications, they are pretty special to me. And so if you ever have wanted to support me or my writing or my work, even if just on a one-off basis, then reading my stories is the most personally meaningful way for you to do that. Not financially, there is no money in short stories, I assure you, but personally it would mean a lot. And it'll give you a bit of a taste of the sci-fi novel, of which I am 50,000 words into writing, that I'm going to be publishing in the near future. More clues about that on Instagram or Twitter. But if this video, this story that I put together, meant anything to you, then I would really love you to share it, because these videos don't tend to do that well and I want to give it the best shot that I possibly can. Sharing it on Reddit is really, really helpful, but anywhere is of course incredibly appreciated. Me and my editor Alex put a lot of effort into making this video the way it is. It's really cool. It was a real passion project for us. And if you do read either of the two of my stories, I'd love you to send along your favorite line or quote along with a question, and I promise that I will answer it in a Q&A video. Oh, this is a really big moment for me, and I'm super glad that I got to share it with you. I don't know, but I've got a couple of other stories which might be being published kind of soon. We'll see. I just hope it pans out. In the meantime, stay nerdy, keep writing, and I will see you in the future.